Today, you're going to see the scariest characters of all time, those who traumatized entire generations and gave us countless sleepless nights. So, if you dare, get comfortable, because today, on Scene Prime, Top 10 Most Terrifying Characters of All Time. Number 10. Freddy Krueger. This iconic character from the Nightmare on Elm Street saga revolutionized the slasher genre. Freddy isn't just feared for his grotesque appearance, with his burned face and knife-adorned glove, but for his terrifying ability to stalk his victims in their dreams. His psychopathic nature and darkly mocking attitude only amplify the horror, making him a relentless and nightmarish threat. Freddy disturbed countless viewers because, in real life, we can dream about him, almost as if we were trapped in his movie. While he can't harm us physically, the illusion of his power feels real. In his world, the only escape is to stay awake, a losing battle that adds to the tension. His unique concept, blending psychological and supernatural horror, makes Freddy one of the most inventive and terrifying killers in cinematic history.
Who are you?
Number 9. Predator, the most lethal hunter in cinema. Although the saga has been ruined over time, in its debut film from 1987, Predator was a mysterious and terrifying character that defined an era. For much of the movie, its presence is more implied than shown. We see shots from above, accompanied by unsettling sounds and saturated colors that make it clear the protagonists are being watched by something unknown. When it finally appears, its appearance is utterly disturbing. A creature with advanced technology, overwhelming power, and an insatiable thirst for blood. Its capabilities are so superior that even the military is helpless against it. While the character has lost some of its terrifying aura due to poor decisions in the sequels, the impact it had in the original film cannot be overlooked. Back then, Predator was a horrifying enigma, a being that observed us from above, feeding our fear of the unknown. Number 8. Hannibal Lecter, the most sophisticated and terrifying cannibal in cinema. Hannibal Lecter, masterfully portrayed by Anthony Hopkins, is much more than a typical villain. His brilliant mind, refined education, and eerily calm demeanor make him a chilling figure because you never know what he'll do next. Hannibal is not just a criminal genius, he's a predator who takes pleasure in manipulating those around him. He doesn't need to shout or use brute force to inspire fear. His mere presence is enough to put you on edge. This blend of elegance and brutality is what makes him one of the most terrifying characters ever to grace the screen. Number 7. Pinhead, the High Priest of Pain and Pleasure, a true icon of horror. Pinhead, the leader of the Cenobites in Hellraiser, is not your typical villain from a horror movie. He is a cold, calculating, and almost philosophical figure who represents the darkest side of human curiosity. With his iconic face pierced with nails and his deep, solemn voice, Pinhead doesn't need to shout or chase his victims. His mere presence is enough to freeze the blood. What makes him so terrifying is his connection to the deepest desires of people. He doesn't simply seek to kill, he offers extreme experiences of pain and pleasure that go beyond the human realm, taking you to a hell that you yourself summoned. I accidentally saw this character at a video rental store when I was about 6 years old, and it remains one of my first traumas.
The box. You opened it. We came.
Number 6. The Xenomorph, the most iconic monster in cinema, and also the most terrifying. With a masterful design, this character manages to cause fear even 50 years after its debut, and it remains a mythical figure even for newer generations. The Xenomorph terrifies not only because of its appearance, with its elongated skull and secondary mouth, but also because of its ability to stalk and adapt to any environment, turning every corner into a potential place to die. It feels no compassion or remorse. Its sole purpose is to survive and exterminate. This creature plays with the fear of the unknown, manifesting our most primitive fears. All of this, combined with the claustrophobic environment in which it stalks, like the spaceship, makes it an even more dangerous predator. Number 5. Samara Morgan, the cursed girl from The Ring, the American version, which in my opinion is far scarier than the original. This girl revolutionized modern horror and quickly became an icon of the genre. From her appearance with her soaked white dress, long black hair covering her face, and disturbing walk, to the atmosphere that surrounds her, every detail of Samara is designed to get under your skin. What makes her so terrifying is her connection to the unknown and her ability to break the barriers between the physical and spiritual worlds. Samara's threat is not only deadly, but inevitable. Once you watch the tape, your fate is sealed. An extremely terrifying character who brings with her a curse that is a death sentence. Number 4. Regan MacNeil, the legendary girl from The Exorcist, who had to be on this list. A character that, even today, remains shocking, but where her true terror shows is in the impact she had when the film was first released. It caused such a reaction that, aside from traumatizing thousands, it broke records for walkouts in cinemas because people couldn't handle The Exorcist. It's clear that this is a masterpiece, and no one had dared tackle the themes that this film explores. Extreme offenses to religion, depicting a girl possessed by the devil himself, sexual references to Jesus Christ, and much more. Few figures in cinema have had such an impact as the girl from The Exorcist, and she undoubtedly deserves the recognition she has received.
Power to confront this cruel demon.
Number 3. Leatherface. The monstrous killer from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has become one of the most terrifying characters in the history of cinema. With his mask made of human skin and his chainsaw, Leatherface is not just a terrifying figure, but a symbol of brutality and the most primal physical horror. Thanks to this psychopath, we now associate the sound of a chainsaw with brutal death. Both for his terrifying appearance, with the mask made from the skin of his victims, and his disturbing backstory, Leatherface is an extremely unsettling character. He is a member of a family of cannibals, with their half-dead grandfather serving as the head of the family. The family dinner scene is one of the most iconic and horrifying moments in film history, which inspired Resident Evil 7. And the movie's ending is both iconic and terrifying. Number 2. Count Orlok. The most terrifying and representative figure of silent cinema, and arguably of cinema in general. Nosferatu made an unimaginable impact upon its release. Count Orlok, a vampire whose image has endured in film history as one of the most unsettling monsters, was portrayed by Max Schreck. Orlok is terrifying not only because of his appearance, but also because of his inhuman presence. His elongated face, pointed ears, deep-set eyes, and claw-like hands seem straight out of a nightmare, and his movements are almost spectral, making every step feel like an imminent threat. Orlok represents pure evil and imminent danger, a being who doesn't understand seduction, but only death and destruction. His image today remains one of the most terrifying in the history of cinema.
Here I am, Wheezy. Hey, you're gonna like it down here.
Number 1. Pennywise. The character that forever changed the way we see clowns. Pennywise, the clown who redefined horror for an entire generation. Masterfully portrayed by Tim Curry, the character transformed the childlike and friendly into something deeply terrifying. I've chosen the 90s version because I find it more terrifying and charismatic, instilling fear with subtle gestures and his charm. His appearance, which should be pleasant since he's just a clown, has a look and smile that unsettle anyone. Add to that his personality, with a fake friendliness that hides pure hatred and malice, it's truly frightening. What makes him even more chilling is his obsession with children. But not only that, Pennywise is not just a clown, he's an entity that makes your deepest fears come to life. He embodies the most terrifying concept possible, torturing every child with their deepest traumas and fears, forcing them to live hell on Earth. The miniseries itself isn't all that great, to be honest, but the character is absolutely brilliant. Every scene he's in steals the show and truly terrifies. Personally, he was my first trauma, and that's why he holds a special place in my fear. Nonetheless, Pennywise has marked generations and continues to do so to this day.
Oh, come back anytime. Bring your friends.
Subscribe, like, and tell me what you want my next video to be.